Hey guys, Adam here with AmericanMuscle.com, and today we're taking a quick look at and installing the MMD V2 Chin Spoiler, available for all 13 and 14 GT and V6 Mustangs. You should be checking this out if you're looking to make your front end a lot more aggressive than it was off the factory line. This chin splitter is going to replace your factory one, which is not nearly as cool as this, and it actually has a little bit of an S550 styling for your late S197. Now, I personally am a huge fan of this chin spoiler. It makes the biggest difference at the front end and is such an easy mod to do. Chin spoilers don't take a ton of work, at least not this one. A lot of the ones that have those big rods that come up to your grill are definitely going to require some more, but if you're not looking to modify or drill or do any kind of special treatment, this is the great way to go, and it's really affordable at that, which we'll get to in a second. This one's made of a very durable, impact-resistant ABS plastic. This one here is going to be crack-proof. It's not going to fade in the UV light. It's got that textured matte black finish to it, which I think looks really, really sharp. Another thing I like about that texture, by the way, is that it blends in really nicely with all of the exterior trim on the front end. Our 2014 GT here, of course, being a GT, has the fog lights on the front grille. It really does match with the fog light bezel here. It matches with the honeycomb grille, especially the trim piece around it, and the lower grille as well with the honeycomb. So all in all, it matches already existing trim on the front end, so it's not sticking out like a sore thumb. It does come forward a lot farther than your factory one, which makes it a little bit more on the aggressive side. Your factory splitter doesn't really have much at all on the sides here under those little marker lights. So this is a huge impact on the side profile of your vehicle. Now, this one's gonna come in right around 200 bucks, and the install I'm gonna give 1 out of 3 wrenches on our difficulty meter. Anybody can tackle this in the driveway at home, no problem. If you're working on the ground, just make sure you have a jack and jack stands handy. You'll probably wanna put the car in the air a little bit at the front end and make yourself a little bit more comfortable and give you more room to work with. We're working on a lift, so I'm gonna show you guys a little bit easier up in the air what this is gonna look like for the install, but you're gonna use all of the factory hardware to get this done, so you don't have to worry about picking up any more hardware or, again, making any modifications. So at the end of the day, really impactful mod, and I'm gonna show you every step of the process. What do you say we get started? Tools used in this install include an impact gun, 7mm deep and short sockets, 1/4-inch ratchet, and a panel removal tool. All right guys, the first step here is to grab a 7mm socket, deep or short, doesn't matter. We're gonna remove a whole bunch of these small 7mm bolts holding on our factory splitter. This really thin line here all the way around. There's a bunch of them underneath all the way across, and then there's 2 in each one of the wheel wells. So grab a 7 socket. I'm gonna use an impact gun. Ratchet works just as well, and we're gonna get these guys off. Now, of course, you can do this on the ground. We're working with a lift, it's a little easier. If you're on the ground, jack and jack stands works well, just make sure it's secure. All right, so we're missing a bunch of them right here. We're gonna go down to the next one. All right, so you can see there's 2 more in each one of our wheel wells. We don't have to take our wheel off, but we are gonna have to switch over to this ratchet because obviously the impact gun won't fit in here. All right, once this is out, same thing on the other side. Now, in order to get our factory chin splitter off, there are a couple more push pin clips we have to remove, but in order to get to them, we have to take our factory splash shield off. Now, we've already taken off a couple of the bolts all the way along the front edge, but there are 5 across the back. Now, these can be 7 or 8mm bolts depending on your model. Ours are 7mm. There's 2 on this side, so 1, 2. There's 1 in the middle, and then 2 on the other side, so 5 total. All right, that's that side. Here's the middle. And then 2 on this side. All right, at this point, what we're gonna do is pull back down on all sides. You may need to slide it across some of those plastic trims and then set this down in a side. All right, there are 2 more 7mm bolts to be exposed once we take our splash shield off. There's 1 here and 1 on the other side, so just get those out of the way. All right, a couple more things we have to transfer over here. On both sides, you'll find 3 push pin clips, these little black clips. They're like 2-layer plungers almost. You gotta pull the top layer out and then pull the second layer out. There's 3 on both sides. You can see 1, 2, 3, and then the other one over there. So what I'm gonna do is use a panel removal tool. I know it's tough to see, but I'm gonna try to pull the top of that pin out, just like that, and then the bottom of it, you wanna pry out as well. Panel removal tool is definitely gonna be a good thing to use here, and as you can see, it's gonna come out just like that. You can also use a flathead screwdriver. This is just a little bit easier, typically. All right, so there you go, and you can see it's starting to drop down. We'll do the same thing on the other side. All right, same thing on the other side, and guys, keep in mind it's gonna start dropping down, so you might wanna have one hand around the center to support it. All right, guys, once that's down, just pull it straight down and set it aside. So we got our factory chin spoiler off of our 14 GT next to our MMD V2 here on the ground. I want to take you through very quickly some of the similarities and differences, and really, as far as similarities go, they're just following the same general shape. The MMD one just takes it a little bit further, protrudes out a little bit farther, and all in all, it's just going to look more aggressive. So as you can see, it follows that same curve. It has that little splitter that bumps up, and then again bumps back down. Same thing over here, except it's a little bit of the opposite. We're following upward, and this is a little bit protruded out, then it comes back down, as opposed to the factory one that goes out. So I hope that makes sense, but you can see it kind of just reverses the shape, but either way, all the way around, it's a good 3, maybe 4 inches wider or longer than your factory one. So all in all, just very much more aggressive. The texture of the materials is actually a little bit different too. Your factory one, I think, is a smoother matte black. This is more of a textured matte black, so a little bit different there as well. I personally like the look of the textured one a little more than I like the factory one. Hope you guys agree. I think the MMD one is, again, just that adds a little bit more of the aggression to it. The factory one, as you can see, is extremely filthy coming off the stock one, but you can also tell that like the body of the vehicle, the body of the bumper sat in about 2 inches from the back here. So really all you were getting is this little lip. The body's gonna stop about here. So there's really just a huge difference with mounting points as well. Now, as far as getting this on the vehicle, some models may have those U-nut clips or push nut clips attached to the inside of the factory splitter. If you have those, take them off and transfer them over to your new splitter. Ours do not, so what we're gonna do is just everything we did in the reverse order. Our U-nut clips are attached to the bumper itself, so what we're gonna do is take this, pop it up into place, and then we'll do our splash shield finally, and then wrap things up. All right, kicking things off in the reverse order, you're gonna lift your chin splitter into place, and the first thing we're gonna do is put back in those plastic push pin clips. Now, it might be a little tough to hold by yourself, but what you're basically gonna do is put this guy up here, line up those holes, push it into place, just like this. You're gonna have to pinch them together, and then drop that tab down, just like that. Same thing for the rest of them. All right. Repeat on the other side. All right, now each corner of our splash shield here has 3 of these little U-nut clips or metal clips with threading in them. What we do have to do is take them off and transfer them over to the 3 little tabs on each side of our new splitter. Now what you're basically gonna do is pry up underneath, pull back, and disconnect. Do that for all 3 on both sides, so 6 in total. So we're gonna take those clips, and there's these little tabs here, 3 on each side again, right by those push pin clips. Just pop these guys back on. You wanna make sure when you are putting these on that the flat portion is facing down and the threading is on the inside. All right, so next step is putting our splash shield back up. You wanna make sure you're orienting it in the right direction. I'm gonna put these 5 bolts on the splash shield back up from the back first. So if you remember, there was 2 on each side. I'm just gonna start threading this in by hand so it holds up the shield. one over here. With those two in place, let's do the one in the middle and then on the other side. Now you can grab your socket and tighten them up. Now we can put the bolts on the front. At this point we can take two of our 7mm bolts and we're going to start putting them on the front portion of the splitter here, right through the splash shield. Finish it up by doing the 6 total, 3 on each side. And if you have more in the middle, you can replace those as well. Same thing on the other side. All right, so now we have 4 more bolts remaining, 2 in each one of the wheel wells. Again, they're 7mm. They may be 8 depending on your model. Same thing on the other side. All right, with that last bolt in place, you guys can put it on the ground and you're good to go. That's gonna wrap up my review and install for the MMD V2 Chin Spoiler, available for the 2013 and 14 GT and V6 Mustangs. Very impactful front end mod. If you wanna get it for your own S197, you can do so right here at AmericanMuscle.com.